All right, Pine Grove News Live. How you doing, everyone? Uh, 6 o'clock on the dot on the East Coast. It has been a couple of mostly dreary days. Not too much rain, mostly drizzle. Supposed to be rain, and actually the sun came out a couple times today and got a little bit of energy out of that. And so, with that, I'm going to carry on and do the news. What little I have. I've said that before. Yep. Tonight I believe it to be so. I don't know. Maybe we'll change and just talk about something else. Because I really don't feel like doing the news. Just about all the same. Not much different. Let's see. I got two notes here. One from just mainstream media stuff. Things that I can remember from lunchtime radio with Rush Limbaugh. Oh, and by the way, we are at DEF CON 5. And still 2 minutes to midnight. So there you have that. God bless, Laura. Hope you're doing okay. I don't know what's going on over here. My oldest daughter, who is now living with us, came home today sick from work, and my wife, who works the same place I do, she made it through most of the day, her day, and she actually comes in after I do and leaves 5 minutes before I do. But she's salary, she can do exactly what she wants. She has a headache, but she went to her second job. I really don't need the second job, but she's saving up for something. She would like to get her bathroom remodeled. It is the bathroom we've had for the past. Let's see, we've been in this house since 1999, so about 20 years. And really, some of it's still even older than that because I only just replaced the floor and we did some painting. Actually, yeah, the wall fell out. I'll try to make the story short, but I don't know. A good thing it was in the summer, though. It was in the summer, and for some reason, we were doing the siding outside, ripping it all off myself. And no, actually, we did that after. I'm sorry. So, I don't know. How it happened, I don't know. It just happened, standing there in the bathroom, and next thing you know, the window and a good portion of the wall just fell outside. Yeah, that's it. Just fell outside. Just started tilting into the yard and then crumbled in front of us, in front of me. So, yeah, that was the other part of the remodeling that we did. But that was more recent. That was like probably 10 years ago. And so we decided to take everything off. We had to reside the back anyway, and I was just going to do the back, but she got a notion to go have the whole thing done. We made payments for quite a few years, but it got done. Looks good, and we fixed anything else that was rotten. So I have to say that I was blessed by the Lord for that. At least we're able to do that and live in this very small house. I think it's only 930 square feet. A little ranch. We do have most parts of our basement is finished. When we bought the house, we bought it as a what do you call it? Foreclosure. And the people weren't happy. They went and destroyed most of the cellar. Just took a hammer or bat or something to the ceiling, to the walls. Yeah. Well, the good thing was that we only got the house for $80,000, and it was worth 160,000 at that time, back in 1999. Now it's only worth about 130,000. We lost $30,000 coming in. This was supposed to be an investment. Anyways. So, all right, little story. I just wanted to tell you that. Yeah, because a lot of people are not feeling very well, and we all know what it is, right? It's the stuff that's put in our food. It's the stuff that's put in our treated water that comes out of our faucets. It's the air we breathe, the chemtrails, whatever they're putting in it. Even if it's, just saying, even if there is no such thing as chemtrails, then you'll have to take into consideration that these planes are polluting the sky when they're burning off this jet fuel, to leave, you know, a haze in the sky and these big, huge clouds puffing out as time goes on. Yeah, either case, I mean, the FDA or somebody should have done something about their polluting ways. You don't think that doesn't take effect? But put that aside, without, just putting that aside. And they are, I do believe that they are. There's just too much data out there, too much material that suggests that they are chem spraying the sky. And we can go into that for quite a while and talk about why they're doing that. Where's Planet Nine and where's Nubaru? I mean, here's another thing that I have to say about this Planet X, this Nubaru thing, okay? Um, forget the name of her, but somebody does this woman does a video and she takes the cams, the FAA cams from Alaska and such, I guess pointing north into Canada, and she puts together some videos talking about these two suns and the sun simulator apparently, which she does seem to, have these videos that can prove, at least that there is a chance that there is a sun simulator. I mean, heck, the patents are out there. It's all documented, and um, in any case, I mean, they don't have to build it as big as I thought they would have to build it. They just need to block or get in the way between the sun and us, which means it doesn't have to be as big as I, think that it should have. I mean, heck, do we even have? I once thought that, do we even have enough material on this earth to build such a thing? I would say no. But in any case, yeah. And so if, these two suns, and first of all, the whole theory out there is that, okay, we have a binary system. Nobody's ever been able to prove it. And yes, there's quite a majority, according to NASA, never a straight answer NASA, um, claiming that most of the systems out there, okay, I mean, they have trouble, finding a plane in the Atlantic, but they can go find other systems and other planets and all kinds of galaxies. And but the majority is the percentage is that it's a high percentage that we have a binary system that is not just one sun, that there is actually two suns. Now, the stories go that, this sun, which is a brown dwarf, okay, which is still 10 times bigger than planet Earth, is first of all, it's hard to see. It's not bright and sunny like everyone's showing on these videos of this bright sun coming up over the horizon. Okay, so if this Nubaru or this brown dwarf is our binary, sun friend that's ours and only comes around every, I don't know, 360 or 3600, take your pick, then it would not be bright and sunny like our sun. As a matter of fact, some people, claim they can only find it with Lucifer. The telescope that the Vatican owns, the infrared Lucifer. Down there, I guess it's in the, may even be on Antarctica. I'm not sure. Which is the only place, according to them, that we can see this, the planet Nibiru and our sister planets or its planets, which everyone claims that it has. And nobody's seen it, but they all claim that this is what this is because basically they did research. They I think Gil Brizard did a lot of research, did a lot of research that the Chinese had, and they're very good at cataloging and writing these things down. And then you got the Mayans and their calendars, and a lot of people back then. I mean, we did not have the light pollution that we have now with all this electricity and everything being lit up. You could barely see some of the stars. I remember telling you when I went up to the cabin, a month ago or so, I actually saw the Milky Way. The stars they were just so brilliant and beautiful. It was just, I stood out there literally for hours just staring up at the stars. It was an awesome spectacle. It really was. And just imagine back then, when supposedly, you know, these ancient civilizations did not have electricity. Of course, go tell that to the people who found the Baghdad battery and actually think that the pyramids were actually some type of furnace, right? You ever wonder where these furnaces are, where are they? What were they, right? The one Abraham and his Nahan, his brother-in-law, something like that, were thrown in the furnace. You remember, not Daniel, but the other three, Bendigo. Who were the other ones? Misha. I can't remember right now. But remember, they were thrown in a furnace too, and this furnace was actually built up 7 times. I guess they were doing it 7 times more than normal. I mean, first of all, what are they using these furnaces for? They called it in the Bible. They called it a furnace. So what do they need a furnace for? I mean, I guess you could, kind of use it like a incinerator, get rid of all the garbage, you know. Otherwise, you'd have, mountains of and bulldozers, you know, piles of garbage, just like we do today. Of course, we have a lot more garbage today because we're just a throwaway society. So, in any case, so yeah, just some things to think about. I've been thinking a lot about these things, and especially because the way the Earth has been tilted more again. The way that we've been tracking true north, and that it actually drifted over to Siberia from true north, and that supposedly this has been done or has happened at least a couple times that we may know of. Otherwise, we're just speculating. We're just guessing. In any case, man has survived. So, um, yeah, I don't know how I got off on the subject, but let's get back to the two notes that I made. One of them is one of the mainstream topics out there. Maybe it wasn't even that. I think it might have been a video about the drugs, the fentanyl. That this drug now being made into like a pharmaceutical way, like a pill or something like that. And the scary thing about that is that this fentanyl that's coming from somewhere. So a lot of people think it's China. A lot of people have said and that the bath salts and what was the other one? when I did a video on, not the crocodile stuff, but something else that was going around Florida and being dispersed through there. Some people said that China, it's got to be one of our enemies, obviously, because this fentanyl is. Somebody said today on the mainstream it was either 10 or 100 times stronger than any of the strongest drugs that we have of the opiate type. And I'm sure that it's been, you know, synthetically manipulated or genetically manipulated some way to make it that much stronger. One pill. I mean, this is what Trump is fighting about. You know, this is one of the reasons why he wants these walls up and this thing fixed because it's just coming across our southern border. It continues. Just one pill can kill somebody. I mean, I actually was on a fentanyl patch, okay, for my lifelong back pain. And I actually got off of it because it was too strong. It wasn't the fentanyl they have now, that's for darn sure. But it was a patch. You put it on your arm, and there was no contact to anybody else on the outside of the patch. It was all on the inside of the patch, on the sticky portion, and it was on your skin, and that's how it was absorbed into your system. But apparently, these fentanyl patches, and I've seen a video of a cop coming in contact with somebody. It was either in his pocket or it was on him, and he touched it, and the guy almost he went into an attack, some kind of fit over it. And that's why I don't know if that was Big Pharma coming out with a commercial, you know, a little setup there to come out with. They have this type. It's like an EpiPen type thing. I forget what they call it. I was offered it from my doctor in case of an overdose. It's just like an EpiPen. You take the pin and you just jab it into your arm or your butt, whatever. And it's supposed to save you from an overdose. So, I mean, the whole video of this cop was that he got contaminated by this, what do you call him, perp or whatever, suspect while he was in the car and had to take this pen, and it worked. But in any case, yeah, I could see that happening. I mean, our enemies, yeah, Iran, you know, have many soldiers here already. We've talked about it many times in the past about all the other uh, governments that actually have military personnel here. And why we're allowing it, I have no idea. Well, I have a little idea, but everybody will call it a conspiracy theory. Just go look at Dave Hodges and what was the other guy talking about that Red Dawn scenario? You know, why are they burning the West Coast? Yeah, why are they flooding it? You guys all know that this weather is manipulated all the time now. They can give you water where you need it. They can take away the moisture, you know, with just a burst of plasma. They can control it. And all these Dopplers all over this country are contributing to it. That's how they do it. That's what HARP was. We talked about it a couple of days ago up there in Alaska. I forget exactly what it stands for. High altitude aurora something. But it's a bunch of antennas and it's focusing frequencies into one area, and they, you know, they tested it up there. There are these HARP fields of antennas here in this country, different areas, and everyone, our enemies included, so-called enemies, have them too. They have HARP too. So in any case, um, yeah. So whether you want to believe that we actually have enemies, I'm sure the people are coaxed and lied and deceived into thinking that we do have enemies. And so they go and do things against those particular enemies. Even Iran, you know, a lot of the Iranians are protesting against their own, I don't know what you call them, I don't know if you call them aristocrats, but you know, their leaders are supposedly spiritual people. You know, the Khomeinis and such. But in any case, I've talked to people who are from Iran. All they want to do is practice their religion, and then they got other, you know, the women. There's a big story video out there in a movie that somebody did, and it's about the women of Iran that go around. They call them, I think they call themselves, or they make disciples. That's basically what they do. They go around and make disciples of Christ. There's a big movement there, and the women are running it. Yep. I'm sure I passed the video out already. I know I would have, so you must have it somewhere. You can always find it again. There's supposed to be another one coming out, what, November? Jane Markell might know about that one. In any case, I mean, yeah, we're going to have the problems with the drugs. I mean, you know about how I feel about the war on drugs. It's not what the government tells you they're doing. I mean, heck, they gave, you know, Obama gave guns. You know, the Fast and Furious, what do you call it? Screw up. We'll just say it that way. Uh, where we, all these guns and ammunition, ammunition, yeah, we're going to call it ammunition today. We're given, you know, to people south of our border. And don't get me started about what's going on south of the border. You know, they've been, we've had much, you know, information about battlefield EMPs down there, shooting down airplanes. Our enemy, supposedly ISIS, you know, MS-13. Well, they're over in our neighborhood now anyway. MS-13, they were brought over here, and now they all have machine guns and such. So you want to know why they want to take our machine guns away from us, our, you know, our magazines, the magazines that hold all the bullets. You know why? Because it'll make it easier for the MS-13 and the other gangs, while, you know, they have machine guns, to come and take care of us and the military. Whatever soul from the military that wants to turn against Americans, yeah, those cowards will, you know, they'll have machine guns too. Now, I know there's a good portion, and I've heard these stories, you know, with the oath takers, or whatever, however you call them, oath keepers, said that they will definitely not be firing on Americans. So they have to do it another way. Give it to the gangs down there across the border. Have them come over and start from there. But and just everything adds up to what they're doing. You know, and all right, there's one article I believe that I took. Did you hear about some particular lightning that was came down today, blew a 15-foot hole in a parking lot? Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard of lightning doing that. I'm gonna try to go find it right now. It was one of the early ones. Here we go. Yeah, first of all, let me put this up first. Fair Use Act. Okay, now that I got that out there. Oh, I never did go check to see if we were alive, and we are, so that's good. I got that. Very good. So with that, the article is from Fox 4. Lightning strike leaves 15-foot hole in Fort Worth parking lot. Okay, and I think I got it queued up right on where it shows the hole. I mean, this thing not only blew a hole in the parking lot, but sent chunks of what they said cement flying in the air. Have you ever seen? I've been close to lightning before. I've almost was struck by my son when we were quite younger in the mountains in South Lee, Mass. When we had a timeshare up there. We were in the mountains, and I don't know, it was probably like 8 feet away, maybe 10 feet away. where a lightning struck, we're pretty high up. And there was no hole. There was a loud, snap. And then you could see the leaves and maybe a little faint smoke swirling. I mean, of course, it may have been obviously maybe a low voltage lightning strike, but the lightning we're having these days, man, is just so much worse than what I've been listening, what I've seen, what I've heard. It's just much more intense, and not only in the ability with the amount of I don't know voltage, you know, in these things, but the sequence, the amount of lightning. Anyway, remember that? I think what was it? That was the one that killed the caribou in Russia. I don't know if it was a multiple attack of lightning or it was whether it was just one burst and it killed all of them. There were there was many of them. I don't know the figures, so I'm just not going to say it. So let's get a picture of this one in the parking lot.
This is definitely the biggest one that
Hold on.
With just one lane of that two-lane ramp open, it has caused a backup that has
Fort Worth Shopping Center.
The fire department spokesman Mike Dribdahl with us on the phone. Mike, this is like kind of a little bit of an eye opener when you think about the power and the danger of lightning.
This definitely shows what lightning can do, and it's about a 15 by 15 hole that was caused by a lightning strike this morning.
Have you seen something like this before? I mean, we've seen lightning strikes that hit the ground, but I feel like it's usually just like, a couple inches wide. Nothing like this guy.
Yeah.
This is definitely the biggest one that I've been involved with. We do have some concrete chunks from this hole that flew probably as far as 75 feet away from this hole. So this was a very powerful lightning strike. Luckily, no injuries out here. The scene is stabilized, and we're waiting on some contractors to come out here and start the cleanup.
Right. So we're talking about what part of Fort Worth? What are we near? And we can see it's at a gas station, which makes it even more frightening.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're at the corner of Shadydale and Boat Club. So this is the northwest side of Fort Worth. And
Okay, just wanted them to mention where they were when this happened. But yeah, more coincidence? Come on, people. We already talked about coincidence from last week about Comet Neowise just happened to be over the spot of the fire and have an explosion at the same time that it's on or overhead. Yeah, okay. That's a comet, all right. At least they're calling it a comet. A hidden secret comet that fires dew weapons. Yeah. I mean, look at the hole. You can see it in the distance here. These people have never seen it. I've never seen it. I've been around, long enough to observe lightning. Probably, I'd say 1 to 10, I really didn't care unless it was striking around me. Nothing this big. Maybe there's somebody out there that's seen something this big do this much damage in the past. But just leave your comments, please. I don't think it was lightning. They've talked about lightning. There's other people that are talking about lightning, and you should pay attention to those stories because I think that those are also man-made. Okay, and I don't think it was lightning in the sense that that's what they saw, but it, could have very well been a dew weapon, directed energy weapon. Okay, so I guess we'll go out and do some other news while I'm there. Yeah, we know about this because we're following the news and we're up to the know. We know the season that we're in, man. Yeah, the social decay that we see all around us is absolutely breathtaking. And I would have to say that. I mean, that's what I expect. I told you what I heard them say that 1990s, the 90s, the anything go decades. That's when I literally saw society start changing. I was changing before that, but I just agree. They just kind of cement it, But yeah, moral decline for sure. Definitely. I mean, look out there, man. Look at the things that they're doing. Total lawlessness. The iniquity abounds, right? So throughout human history, we have seen great nations rise and fall. I mean, who was that guy? I'm trying to remember his name. Paul Harvey. Remember that one he does, Paul Harvey, the one on the devil? And oh, I have it somewhere too, but if I played it, I would definitely get a copyright strike for that because I tried it before. Even if I bought the song, or the saying, he just talks about what he would do if he was the devil and the things that he would do, and obviously drugs. I mean, comes up with a list. And basically, when it comes down to it, that all these um, big governments in the past, like China, that regime, the only way that it fell, it was from within. And that was the point I'm trying to make. And what do you see right now? I mean, have you ever, I hate to keep repeating it. I know I've only been here 60 years, but man, I have gone from black and white TV to do weapons in the sky and the World Wide Web. Of course, that came in the 80s, I believe. I mean, we didn't even have computers. It started to come out then. We had the first entertainment system, the Space Invaders and Pong. You remember that? That's what I had. The amount of change that I've seen in my short life has been astounding. It has. And where it could go from here, I mean, pretending that, comet that comes by, and we got many other comets that are on a normal, rotation, orbital plane with Earth, and are they really comets? I mean, you're going to tell me that a comet can shoot something down onto an area and create an explosion right at that very second? Come on, we really aren't that stupid, right? I remember a guy, okay, used to tell us that and I mentioned this last week, that I don't think that we can really trust our eyes anymore. Or at least we'll see something, but it won't really be what we see. Do you understand? If we're looking at a comet, because that comet, this so-called comet Neowise, did not have a tail. It looked like a big airplane. I mean, its diameter was bigger than the two planes that were flying left and right of this fire area. And, of course, now we got EMP weapons that can knock out a couple streets, maybe a town, and leave the others going. I mean, the technology is just amazing. And the stuff that we don't know about. I mean, when I told that story, and I'm not saying that it could be just coincidence. Absolutely, it could. I don't normally have a problem once my stuff is up and running, unless I, touch a button that I'm not supposed to. Other than that, I've actually enjoyed the smooth streaming that I normally have. But when I mentioned this thing, yeah, I got cut off. They stopped. And maybe it was because I didn't put the fair use thing up, which gave them a reason to stop it. But there were other things that happened too. So, in any case, yeah, total social decay. And oh, I want this is. Let me just put out a warning, I guess. This one that I picked up, that's pretty much out there in your face type thing. I'm trying to find it. Yeah, something, and it's in Texas again. Texas school, Okay, I just want to warn you that it's has to do with children, and it's pretty disgusting, and it's going to get worse, people. So um, though I don't like hearing anything about this either, but I have to put it out there because it's becoming again so in your face. They're acting. They're just going to get darker, especially with what they want to do. I mean, just think of Sodom and Gomorrah, okay, and Lot, and the things that happened there when the two angels got there. There are stories in Jasher, okay, that you should read about Gomorrah and what they did to their people just passing by. I mean, they had an every year ritual. Probably mentioned this before. In Gomorrah, in Jasher, it had, they had, I don't know what they called it, a festival or whatever, but every year, all the inhabitants, the married couples, I guess, would go into this huge field and they would have this huge party and they would swap wives and husbands once a year. That is the morality that we're working towards, and in a lot of cases are already here. And this is from CBN News, Christian perspective, okay? This is as easy as you're going to get it. This Texas school district mandates teaching kids how to have a certain sexual encounter. And it's not the normal one. Not the natural use. That's how I can put it, okay? And these are kids, these are fifth graders. Fifth graders, people. Okay, so the sex and gender revolutionaries have officially taken over the Austin Independent School District without firing a shot. In spite of overwhelming opposition from parents and pastors, the district's trustees voted early Tuesday morning to implement a pornographic sex education policy that includes instruction on this particular act and how to place a condom on an erect penis. Sorry. So, yeah, and so this father of this fifth grader demanded to know who gave the school district the right to teach his child how to have this or do this. Who gave you the right, Austin ISD? You have overstepped, and the rightfully frustrated dad said the radical sex education policy will provide graphic instruction on gender identity and mandated support for the LGBT movement. Students in grade school and middle school will also be taught how to get an abortion or obtain birth control pills without parental permission or consent. The school district will also begin instructing students to no longer use words like mother or father. We can go much further down, people. There is such a moral decline, and it is rapidly deteriorating even further down. You don't think it can go further down? Well, go read Jasher. I'll find that article. I'll find out where that story is, and you can go read that, or I'll read it. I'll come out and read it. What they did, and the festival, what they did to a traveler coming in. In any case, this is just beyond sick and grotesque and evil. Pure evil. Just want you to know. I mean, you should know where this comes from. Satan was he was given rule over this planet. I mean, you know that, right? When Jesus came here, okay, when he was tempted in the desert for 40 days, after, I think it was towards the end, when he was tired and hungry, that's when the devil comes at you the most. When you're tired, when you're hungry, and you're just, you're miserable, you're in pain, whatever, that's the time he's going to come after you. So we need to learn how to keep ourselves, our minds, and believe me, I've been having some relapses the past 2 days. I've done a lot of swearing, and I don't know why. I really don't. I haven't done it for a long time, and I did it once, at least once today. This is the one thing we need to do: recognize it. Recognize, that you did it. Obviously, repent on it, but figure out what circumstances were there that made you do this. And I have had no other, rough situation since I've been at this job. There was nothing new. I've gone through it before, and I didn't swear before, but this past week, 2 days in a row, I was using some words that I have not heard in a long time. So I basically just went into prayer for it. You got to go into prayer for it. You got to ask for help. You got to renew your mind. You got to get rid of the old man, get in the new man. Renew your mind, your soul, your heart. That's what we're trying to do. That's why we're here. We were given these shells, okay, of clay and dust, and our spirits were put in there, and we need to go through a refining process. I wish that we can, instill that into the people that really need to hear that this is not the end, but we have to work on ourselves while we're here, as short as it is. We're not here to have parties every weekend. No, we're not here. I mean, I get, I hear every Friday, happy Friday, happy Friday. I mean, shouldn't every day be happy? And if you can get up and walk around and do things that, at other times you couldn't do, I just take joy in that, right? Getting up and being able to move around. I mean, one day, not so much pain as the next day. I mean, stuff like that. Little things that make a difference, that will build you up. It will. It'll increase your faith, your strength, your heart. So, yeah, we're in this world is in deep doo-doo, of course. Yeah, the percentage of Christians in America has hit an all-time low. Talking about the falling away, it's still going. The decline of Christian faith in the United States continues to accelerate. And the latest numbers that we just got are absolutely staggering. Most European countries are already considered to be post-Christian nations, and the U.S. appears to be headed down the exact same path. But when America was originally founded, it was estimated that 98% of the colonists were Christians. Yeah, they were fleeing religious persecutions. I know they're not teaching that in the schools, these days. They're not teaching that. I think they're basically starting them on other than American history. I just talked to my grandchildren last night, and they said they started them at World War One. So everything else before that is gone. Anyway, the Christian faith played a critical role in the development of the country. Form of government and down throughout history, every generation of Americans was overwhelmingly Christian. But now things are changing in a major way. According to a brand new survey that was just released by the new Pew Research Center, only 65% of Americans now consider themselves to be Christians. And then there's a good percentage of that are just lying. They want to be Christians, they want to consider themselves to be, but they're not working at it. But it does represent the lowest level ever recorded. So let's see. When it comes to religion, 12% drop in a single decade is not just a decline. In reality, it is a mass exodus, the great falling away. We're witnessing that, don't you know? Don't you know? Meanwhile, all subsets of religiously unaffiliated population, a group also known as religious nuns, have seen their numbers swell. Self-described atheists now account for 4%, up modestly but significantly from 2% in 2000. Agnostics make up 5%. Let's see. 17% of Americans now describe their religion as nothing in particular. Or they don't, or they believe in a God, but that's about it. Yeah, I mean, go listen to Living Waters, okay, livingwaters.com. I don't particularly, that Australian Ray Comfort. I like listening to his conversations with the college students and other people who, who are not quite doing things the right way and they're figuring it out for the first time. Atheists arguing their point and other people arguing, yeah, I'm going to believe God the way I want to believe him, and that's it. They all think that they can just go on and do these repulsive things that they do know. Just talking to these people, you know that they know it's wrong. But they're going to continue to do it. You know why? Because everyone else is doing it. Everyone else is doing it. So, can't live with them, join them, right? Some kind of crapola like that. Yeah. They all believe that, yeah, like my oldest, it doesn't matter. God knows what's in my heart. I can go on sinning until it's time for me to go. He knows my heart. He'll save me. I'll go to heaven anyway. I think you need to go and find that out for yourself, because I don't think that it's going to be true for you. Saved by grace. Well, do you need to believe in order to be saved by grace? Or is just everybody saved by grace? And that's it. Everybody's saved. Well, what about the wheats and the tares, They talk about the tares. Aren't they destroyed? Aren't they the ones that are, piled up and thrown into the fire? Right? Well, that's certainly not being saved, is it? I don't know. Wish I knew exactly what to do, but I'm going to trust in the Lord to do it his way in his timing, not mine. He's done a very good job so far. All right, what else do we have about the church? Yeah, and we hear a lot of these stories too, okay? Church in shock after Florida pastor, father of two, facing rape allegation. Well, he goes and kills himself. I hear a lot of stories about these pastors. The pastors are falling away too. I mean, it's now coming out with a lot of these pastors and what they're really doing. And it's not feeding the flock. It's probably manipulating and other things to the flock, but not feeding them truth or being a loving pastor or a loving brethren. I don't know. It's very sad, these things. Very sad. Well, okay, let's get into something here. Oh, here's another one. I'm sorry. One last one, I believe. From Breaking 911. Catholic school teacher busted with hundreds of images of child porn gets probation. You see that there? The good is recognized as evil, and evil is recognized as good in this day and age. Do you see that? That we're also there too? I see it. They don't see it, obviously. We're to understand these things and discern these things so that maybe someday, the Lord will maybe put somebody in front of us and through the Holy Spirit, speak that reasoning and maybe they'll be saved. That's a hope. That's a hope I have. I don't want to see anyone burned. I want to see everybody make it. Everybody. Why not? We're all different. It's just an awesome thing to think about. Like every time I mention it and talk about it, I get very excited. And I don't know why other people don't. I just am totally blown away that every person, alive, dead, or whatever, they're all different. Every one is different. You look at even twins and triplets and so on and so forth. There is something about them that is different from the other. I grew up in my childhood with twins from across the street. I could tell them apart. And there are many things physically that I could tell apart. And it's just that it's just totally awesome and we all try to be somebody else, but why not be yourself? You're unique, you're different, you're special. There's nobody else like you. And why you would want to change that to please somebody else? God loves you. Jesus loves you. So, let's not try and gather the false love out there. A lot of us don't know what love from Jesus is like. Just go ask him, go get a relationship with him, and he'll give you, that's one of the first things he gives you. A small portion, small, because you ain't going to be able to handle any more than that in the beginning. He gives you a small portion of what his love is. That agape love. Godly love. You will get an understanding, a portion of it, and a little more as you go along of what that really is. And it's not the love we think about in this world. Far, far, far from it. Not even coming close. I am still trying to learn how to love my wife the right way. She deserves it. Now, I still have remnants of this old love. It keeps popping up. But he's changed it. He's doing when he's doing his time, and then he's changing us, and I can't wait to see the finished products. Can't wait. So, I got a couple stories that we could go into, but I really don't feel like doing it anymore. It's about the, politicians and the junk that they're up to. So, all about that. I don't particularly like hearing about it or talking about it, but just not much has changed. They have found somebody, to talk against Trump, but, for this impeachment crapola. But I'll leave it with that, everyone. So it's Wednesday, midweek, okay? Hump week, hump day, whatever you want to call it. Mike. Whatever. I'm trying to get out of the world. Very fine line. I am mostly out of it. Yes, I am. The world trying to, entice me back in. I could tell you about my job and that contract is up for this company to work in these buildings, and I thought I was going to be leaving that job and not having another one. And my wife too, she's got to leave too. But I was called today and from the director of one building in the office of the director of the building I was in at the time, and I was assured that I would have a position. That they haven't worked out the details yet, but I am to not worry. I told him I don't worry about these things; they all work out. But I am, according to him, assured a position there, so I will not be leaving. My wife has to go, though. She has to go to another building. She may be going to another Holyoke instead of Long Meadow. But anyway, and the thing with that is that along with the many blessings that we get, the world tries to entice you as well with more. Okay, more. And I'm talking about when I get this job, there's at least a $5, from what I heard, increase in my pay. I'm fine with the pay I got right now. We're paying our bills. I can, help people once in a while. So they're not going to get me with that. I just use that money just to give more away. That's all I'm going to do with it. And we're going to save it because we do not have any kind of retirement income. I plan on working, and my wife, because we started late in life as far as saving up for retirement and whatnot. We basically, live by the by the check every week all our lives, and we don't have money saved, not much. I may have $1,100 just a cushion in case something comes up, which obviously it does. But yeah, they're not going to entice me with more money. It's not going to make me like this world anymore. Or I don't like it at all, but I don't know. Didn't quite come out the right way. But anyway, I hope, and I will be praying for all my brethren that you're doing okay and that you've already won. Just that you keep standing in your trials, and just know that Jesus will never change. He will always love you. He will always and never forsake you. Okay, he won't. And I can tell you that there are brothers and sisters out there who won't either. They will not forsake you. If you need them, you can call them, text them, chat, whatever you want to do. There are real Christians out there. I wouldn't say that they're Christ-like. I say they're trying to be Christ-like. We all are trying to be Christ-like. That's the finished product that I would like to see once he takes us all away from here and we can join him. So with that, everyone, I will be back Friday, hopefully, Lord willing, and see what else we can talk about. All right, with that, everyone, God bless and peace out.